Merry Christmas, guys! It's Saiyan here, coming at you with a budget deck this time for Dragon Ball CCG, and this is for all of you out there who are searching for a good deck, a nice aggro deck that is powerful and doesn't have any very difficult to find ultimate super rares for this game. So let's have a look. Alright, ladies and gents, so we are going to start with 3 turn 0 Gokus. This is a set 1 card, and realistically, if you dig into the game a little bit, you should be able to get a playset of these guys with no real problems, in all honesty. There was plenty of this stuff released. In fact, if you look at here, only one of these is first edition. Set 1 was actually, it had a second print run. There's also a promo Chibi Goku out there which does exactly the same. So we got 3 Zero Gokus and we have 3 Yamchas. Now Yamchas might be slightly more difficult to get being set 5, but you can quite easily replace Yamcha with the set 1 Yamcha. Obviously it's not going to be that good, but it's still on theme. It's still a super card, and it's fairly good. I run Yamcha to be able to search for 2 Ramfans. Yamcha and Ramfan is very powerful together. There is a good chance that you might come across decks that run humans and males, so Ramfan was going to do that -1/-1. On 1 opposing human and male warrior, plus Yamcha searches for Ramfan, and Yamcha gives +0/+1 to Ramfan. So together there is 16 power on turn 1, and Ramfan could also maybe dish out a -1/-1. So it's just all around very, very good combo, these 2 cards, in my humble opinion. Carrying on with turn 1, we have 2 of the set 2 Chaozus. Really good card, really, really nice, especially behind Tian. He gives Tian +1/+0, and is just generally a good supporter with that 2 support anyway for a turn cost of 2. We run the Trunks Goten combo for turn 2, which realistically sets up our turn 3 as well. Again, these cards are maybe slightly more difficult to come by because they're set 5, but again, these are commons. Yamcha is common. All the cards we've looked at so far are common, except the Ramfan. The Ramfan you can get from the starter deck, so again, shouldn't be that difficult to get. There's loads of starter decks still available for purchase online. Trunks and Goten, they search each other out, put the other card on top of your deck, your planet, and as long as they're in the same team, basically they both get +1/+1 of each other. So the 2 of them together on turn 3, that's a team power of 8, which is, it's amazing. And again, these cards are common, so again, not that difficult to get them. Obviously, I run my boy Krillin in here. Again, this one's a starter deck exclusive. Ramfan is not a starter deck exclusive, so if you got set 1 cards lying around, you probably have a Ramfan or 2 anyway. Krillin is a starter deck exclusive, particularly for the Goku starter deck. It's a really cool card though. Every time he uses a technique, you can give target opposing warrior -1/-1 until end of turn. So he's going to make a lot of our techniques even better. Even though we can set up turn 3 with Goten or Trunks, vice versa, I will always strive to get Krillin out because I love that card. We have a Tien to go with our Chaozu. Obviously, this is also a set 2 card. It's really nice with the stats. For a 3-drop, 4/1/4/1 is amazing. Plus, he has Fierce 1. He gets the buff from Chaozu. Just amazing card. And we're really just splashing in villain for a number of warriors. Another one is being Cell, a really good support warrior for turn 4. And again, you can get these cells from the set 1 starter decks. They also have been released in set 1 as well, so you may have them in rare form, you may have them in the starter form, but again, it shouldn't be too difficult to find these cells. And they're really good support, just as Tian, excellent stats, 3/3/3/3, very, very, very solid card. And then we have 2 of the starter deck super rare Gokus. Again, starter deck rare, starter deck super rare technically, but realistically not too difficult to go and buy this card. He has super heal, he has toughness. You can move him around between different teams for 1 chi when you're defending, which is amazing. You can always help out whichever team might be struggling. The only thing you're going to make sure is your 0-turn Goku can't be down when your big 5-drop comes down to play. And then finally, 2 Gohan from set 5. This is an uncommon card. This might be a little bit of a push for the budget theme, but realistically, if you guys want to make it a little bit more, I suppose, achievable, then you can very easily run 2 of these Piccolos. Decent stats, 6-2, 5-1, great for a 5-turn, and he also has toughness, which is really good. So you can always run 2 Piccolos if you don't have any of these Super Saiyan Gohans around. But these Super Saiyan Gohans, absolutely wicked. 7-turn, which is quite late game, but we kind of do need that in this deck. Super heal toughness. When a warrior you control is discarded due to the showdown, you may heal this warrior. So every time there is a warrior that can heal itself and has super heal, is just amazing. So we got 2 of these Gohans in here. And for our technique lineup, we don't run any events because that just confuses things. We do run 3 dirty tricks, which is, it's honestly my favorite technique. Not only is it completely splashable to any deck, very, very cheap cost. It has this unique ability where you can play from your discard as well, and then you remove it from the game. Every time you use a dirty trick with Krillin, it's technically -2/-2 on your opponent's warriors, which is just, well, it's amazing. Along similar lines, we have 3 Gen Kengu, another very cheap technique to play. It's an uncommon from set 1, so again, as long as you can get your hands on some set 1 stuff, you will probably find a good amount of Gen Kengus in there. It's just a straight up +2/+0, no requirements, no nothing. You can play from the, as soon as you pass turn to your opponent, you can play it from there. 1 super chi cost, so it's just a really good card. We have 3 burning attacks. This card is super versatile. We of course have 2 Trunks, so we will get the extra card draw if Trunks uses burning attack, but you can use it in action, you can use it in strategy. Super cheap cost again. Second turn, 2 chi. Only one of them is specific super, the other one is generic. You can give target opposing warrior -2 turn cost, -2/-2, and discard an event card with 2 or less counters on it. It's jack of all trades, and it combos super well with Kamehameha. Another starter deck card that you can also get from the actual set 1 as well. So again, even though it is a rare card, you can get it from set 1, you can get it from the starter. If you get the Krillin starter, you will get your Kamehameha, so there you go. 2 birds, 1 stone, and you will get your Cell and you will get your Goku. Amazing. So Kamehameha requires Hermit style, but we have Goku, we have Krillin, and we have Big Goku to do that for us. And also Yamcha is Hermit style. Give 1 damage to target opposing warrior with a turn cost of 3 or less. Now what you can actually do is you can play Kamehameha and then chain burning attack on it, so burning attack will resolve first, giving your opponent's card, if it's like a 5 turn cost card or a 4, it will give them enough to bring it into range for Kamehameha, and that way you can actually use Kamehameha to give damage to higher turn cost warriors as well, with the use of burning attacks. Super great combo. Again, if you use it with Krillin, he also gives out the -1/-1, so that's just brilliant. And then lastly, we have 3 Destructo discs, the good ones from set 5. Not that you can't use the other one, but I would certainly recommend this if you have some. If you don't, that's fine. There's a lot of other cards you can splash in here that could work, like Sudden Change, for example, which is a 1 generic Earth technique card, which when you're the defender gives you +2 to support value, which is again a really, really good card. But this Destructo disc is here because my homeboy Krillin is in the deck. Anybody can use it as long as they have a Dragon Ball. It's again not too expensive, it's only 2 chi, and it basically halves target opponent's combat values rounded down. If Krillin uses it, Krillin also gets +2/+2, and if Krillin uses it, he also gives out -1/-1. So for 2 chi, if you get Disruptor this to run with Krillin, it's just, well, Krillin's best technique, realistically. And nobody understands why he's barely been using it in crucial moments in the anime. Now, for upgrades. This is the basic deck. As I said, yes, you can probably run the 2 Piccolos for Gohan, but Gohan is really good for late game. You can do some other changes, of course. You can run Master Roshi. You got quite a few Hermit-style guys. Again, as I say, Goku, Yamcha, Krillin, the other Goku, they're all Hermit-style. Plus Master Roshi's Hermit-style for a turn 2 card. If you want to be able to use Kamehameha even more often than dropping in Master Roshi, particularly if you don't have the Goten Trunks setup, I would highly recommend running at least a couple of Master Roshis and maybe some other cards to make this deck work. For Cell, I would highly recommend replacing the cells with Cell Junior. Same turn cost, which is 4. The stats really aren't much worse on Cell Junior. If he does get damaged, then, well, that's not the end of the world. It's only a Cell Junior, but he can be a good attacker and a really good support warrior. He also has Fierce 1, and you can have up to 3 of them in play, which is a very rare occurrence in this game. So it just allows you to, if you haven't got like any other drop, you can just play the Cell Junior from your hand. So it's actually, in my opinion, better than Cell. But that's just my opinion. Of course, Cell is still a very solid card, and I highly recommend running it. Another good change is, rather than running the Villain Tien, you can run the Set 5 Tien, which just does a lot of great things. First of all, it's Hermit style, so he can also use Kamehameha. He has backup, very good stats, 5-2-4-1, which is really, really cool. And when he comes into play, you can move target chi from your chi area to your hand and put a card down from your hand into your chi area. He's so good that I had actually a game where I played 4 burning attacks in that particular game. I have played 3 burning attacks, managed to draw them up all, partly due to the fact that it was always Trunks using it, so I had that extra card draw off the burning attack. But when I had all 3 used, I made sure I kept one in my chi, and when I dropped Tien, I could pick one burning attack back, and I actually used burning attack 4 times that one particular game. That was actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool. And then finally, just a consideration, if you really don't want to run this Goku, but somehow you got your hands on the promo Gokus, then run the promo Gokus. Again, similar to our Super Saiyan Gohan, where you can heal him. You have to be the defender in the strategy phase. For 2 Super Chi, you can heal him, and he has Super Heal Toughness, so again, he's got that built-in buff ability. He can like soak up a bigger attack, get injured, and then during your turn, you may want to, move him back or leave him as an attacker. It's really up to you. When you get to your opponent's next turn, pay the 2 chi, and now he's a 6-3. That will make him not only a very good attacker, but a really good support warrior as well. So when he becomes a 6-3, and then you play Gohan in your next turn, the 2 of them together are a 9. Plus you may have, I don't know, Goten in there as well. Or there's just a lot of different avenues you can take with this deck. So my preferred setup, of course, is running the Tien, running the 2 Super Saiyan Gohans, running the 2 promo Gokus, and 3 Cell Junior. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's it for this deck. It's a very aggressive deck, I'm not gonna lie. And considering it doesn't really run any like really high value, very difficult to get, super rares, these are all attainable with a little bit of search, with a little bit of asking around, and you can build this deck quite easily. I have had a lot of success with this deck. I really like this deck. I would say that it is definitely a pet deck, but I really struggle to do any changes because the technique lineup just works so nicely. And I love the simplicity that I find in this deck as well. Just getting Tien out with Chaozu, the 2 of them together are like a team power of 8. And as I said, Tian's gonna give you back a cheat, a technique from your chi that you may have already used, but particularly with burning attack, that was like 4 card draws for me that game. And this deck doesn't really draw any cards, as you can see. Yes, we can set up turn 1 with Yamcha, which is great, but he's got like a lot of these small nuances that can really help you to push forward and just get a solid game going. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Merry Christmas, everyone. By saying signing out. Peace.